Hey y'all, welcome back. It's Donnie, inviting you to join me for a pipe and a pour. Tonight, water. Healthy-ish, right? Anyway, fantastic evening here in Middle Tennessee. Clouds and a little bit of rain earlier have led into a beautiful, breezy, cool night, which is fantastic for sitting out here enjoying some Edward G. Robinson in my little Cobbit. I love this thing. Yeah, big fan. So checking in for the Paladin Piper's Codger Challenge number 3 here, as we do come down to the wire. And I can understand for those of you that are more frequent smokers, again, I'm once or twice, maybe 3 times a week, where it may be getting a little old. But I've discovered something, and I'm sure I'm not the first to think of this, or to frame it in this way of thinking, but the Codger Challenge has been good because, again, it kind of pushed me outside my comfort zone to try some things that have been out there I just never tried before, and to take a chance on something and stick with it, which is good. But it's forced me to spend more time with Edward G. Robinson Light Aromatic Pipe Blend. And if you remember the first video or two, I was kind of like, no, actually the first video and first two, I was kind of ho-hum. It is a light, mellow, relaxing smoke. And so I'm sitting out here doing a little bit of reading and just kind of winding down this evening. And I got thinking about it, and I was like, what? Yeah, I went back to refresh my memory on, how they market it, how they talk about it, that sort of thing. It was crafted by, overseen by Edward G. Robinson himself back in 1946. But one of the things that it noted, I don't know where it went, I had a note somewhere. But one of the things that it noted was, it made some mention on smokingpipes.com in their review. I talked about the daily bread for American pipe smokers for mid-century, and I think I'm starting to get it. It's starting to. The more time I spend with it, the more I understand. At first, I was like, no complexity. Yeah, it's straightforward. Yeah. It's got a light aromatic something or another. There's a hint of Latakia. I've yet to really find much Latakia, and that's okay. I enjoy Latakia. I like it a lot, actually. I'm not really finding it here. Then again, I may not know what I'm looking for. That's probably the case, isn't it? I just don't know what I'm looking for or what I'm talking about. But I'm thankful for the Codger Challenge because it has forced me to kind of stick with this blend. It's allowed me to kind of focus on it and not get distracted by bouncing from an aromatic to an English to a vapor to a this to the that. I mean, like most of you guys, I've got a drawer full of unopened tins and bags and jar tins that I would love to get into and try. But what happens with that is that we do just bounce and bounce and bounce. We never focus. We never sit still with it and kind of dig in and go and try to understand it better. If that makes any sense. Can you understand a tobacco blend? Maybe I'm giving it too much credit. I don't know. Point is, losing it again. Point is, I'm growing in appreciation for it. I am beginning to notice more of the it's breezy out here again tonight. I'm beginning to notice more of the so like the first half, the first top, the first third or half of the pipe, there's a lot of sweetness. And now I'm about halfway down, and it's getting more into the nuttiness, which I always hear about and like really never understood until I started with the retrohale on Edward G. Robinson. And so you guys may have seen Smoking Pipes had an article that they just re-released or updated or whatever here the last couple of days about the retrohale, which again is still fairly new to me because I'm still fairly new. But what a difference! I mean, seriously, I just sitting here a little bit ago reading, and I was like, I retrohale a couple of times, and the almost like a milk chocolate nutty kind of note really came through, and I was like, it is so different. Really picked up on the taste, which was cool. I think one of the other things is I continue to kind of, let me shut this down. We'll get back to that. It's also try to pick up on 10 note, jar note in the whiskey world room, nose palette. And the thing I think I'm coming back to, I've been trying to place it because I've heard everything from the stone fruits and the plum and the fruit, that kind of thing. But I've never really able to place it. So the more time I spend with it, the more I'm coming around to almost like a red wine. That may make no sense at all. Could be my nose is jacked up. It is. But I don't know if anybody else has ever kind of picked that up on this blend or any other blend, really. But it's nice, and it's strange. The longer that stays open, the more, again, in the whiskey world, once a bottle's open and it gets some air to it, how about air time? Because again, the compounds in the whiskey, within the alcohol, change in contact with air, and so it can change a little bit of the character and some of the flavors there. And it would make sense that the same would be true with tobacco blends. Now it's in a sealed mason jar because I don't want it to dry out, but I think I'm starting to notice some of those, some of the 10 note, the nose. I'm starting to pick up on some actually improvements. It's growing, which doesn't make sense to me. None of this makes sense, really. I hope it makes sense to you. But it's interesting. So thank you for the Codger challenge that has forced me to stick with one thing rather than bouncing back and forth a whole lot like I normally do. Trying different things and just sort of, you bounce from thing to thing to thing. I never really get into to understanding it or appreciating it more. So I'm appreciating Edward G. Robinson that much more. I understand now why some people are like, it's my go-to, it's my favorite. It's always, if I need something kind of light, easy, sweet to wind down or to pick up or whatever, they go this route. I understand it now. As far as nicotine level, I'm not getting any kind of a nick yet. I haven't yet, no matter if I've just chugged through it or sipped on it until it went out. Yeah. I was reminded, see if I can get this going again. Here we go. I was reminded of a video that the Hobbiton Piper did several months ago now, I think, where he discussed retrohale. Just brings out a whole new level. That's good stuff right there. But the Hobbit Piper did a video several months ago where he talked about giving up on blends too soon. And a lot of times we'll try it fresh out of the tin, or we'll give it some dry time, some air time, and a couple of times they go, write it off. Guilty. But I was reminded of that a little bit ago when I was like, I'm starting to dig this. I'm starting to enjoy it. Not just sort of, I'm going to challenge. I'm going to take the challenge on and see what happens. I'm starting to actually enjoy it. So that is cool. And what's interesting also, so many random thoughts, just ADHD much? I've said it before, and I think most of us are experiencing the same thing. While it's good to spend time with one, I'm really looking forward to trying some other ones. There's just so many out there, whether it's the boutique micro blends or it's the mainstream mass-produced. There's just so many good things out there to try. And I am looking forward to trying, if any of you guys got in on this, from Cloud Bear is, yeah, there it is, the old Codger candy. I figured, hey, in the middle of Codger challenge, why not get some more Codger candy from Cloud Bear? So I'm really looking forward to digging into this and giving it a shot and trying that out. Do a Donnie review, if you will. But there's so many other ones out there now that I'm really tempted and really looking forward to trying out and sort of comparing them with Eddie G. Yeah. Last thing, I said it, I was out here reading C.S. Lewis, Mere Christianity. I've read this. This is my second time. I read it once right out of college years and years ago. And it's taken me forever again because some days it's a tough read. Some days it just, you gotta chew on it a little bit. But I was reading earlier, and again, back in my mind, I'm thinking about, mood has changed, and the mood regarding Edward G. Robinson, because I'm thinking about it differently. I'm looking at it from a different perspective, maybe. And I was reading here as he talked about faith. Now, faith in the sense in which I'm here using the word is the art of holding on to things your reason has once accepted in spite of your changing moods. For moods will change, whatever view your reason takes. I know that by experience. I think many of us may have, our reason may have accepted that Codger blends were kind of one note, not very complex. If we spend some more time with it, thinking on it, getting to know it better, maybe our faith in Codger blends will be restored or renewed or confirmed as our mood changes. So hey, 3 down, 1 more to go in the final week of the Codger Challenge. Let's do this. Let's have some fun with it. And until next time, this is Donnie, inviting you to join me again for a pipe and a pour. Take care, y'all. Have a great week.